Hello everyone, welcome back to Tuition Masters. And today we are here with Letter to God, Chapter 1 of Grade 10 CBSE from NCERT syllabus. So, in our last video, which was an animated one, we had discussed about Grade 9, the fun they had. And today we are going to do about the Letter to God. So, what we are going to do in this session, we are going to do about the author as well as a quick summary of the whole chapter. So, first of all, about the author, Letter to God, this chapter is written by J.G.L. Fuentes. His full name was Gregorio Lopez Fuentes. So, this story is written by him. He is a Mexican writer. It describes a tale of an innocent farmer named Lencho in this story. It is a very beautiful story with message for its readers. And now we will move on to the chapter. So let's start with the summary of Letter to God. So the story starts with the house in a valley, sat on the crescent of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of a ripe corn, dotted with flowers that always promised a good harvest. So we are seeing here that Lencho was a farmer. So he was a farmer. He had a farm of corns. So this house was located in a valley, low hill, right? And there was a very good looking attractive cornfield which would always promise a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. So what is downpour or shower? We are referring to rain over here. Means the farmer Lenko is expecting rainfall so that his yield is more good, right? So throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. So his fields, like here it's a personification that the fields were seeing. So they were like, the thing was, the field and Lencho was expecting a rain so that the field can grow more nicely. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. So Lenko said this to a woman. So the woman who was preparing the supper, right? She replied, "Yes, God willingly." Means if God wants it, yes, there will be a downpour. The older boys were working in the field and the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called them for coming to the supper, the dinner. And it was during the meal, just as Lencho had predicted. Big drops of rain began to fall. But was it really rain? No, it wasn't rain. It was actually hail. So actually hail was falling. So what did he do? There's a bit of comparison here. So what happened? In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds, it could be seen they were approaching. So he thought that yes, it's going to be rain. Then the air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. So he wanted the, like, enjoyment of the rain. But when he returned, he exclaimed, "These aren't raindrops falling from sky. They are new coins. The big drops of 10-cent pieces and little ones are fives." So no, basically he considered that these raindrops were money for him. Why it was money? It was not really raining money. It is compared to money. It is compared to money because it was very important as money. Rain was very important for him. So, with a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers draped in a curtain of rain. So he thought that now, there he was like relieved that now there will be rain. My field would be very good now. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. Now there was rain also. Rain came, but suddenly hailstones came. Now these truly resemble new silver coins now. The boys, exposing themselves to rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. Now, instead of rain, what came down? Hail. Now, hail is very strong. It is very strong. So, what will it do? It will destroy the whole field. So, it's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. Who is the man? Lencho. "I hope it passes quickly." It did not pass quickly, but for an hour, for approximately an hour, the hail was pouring on the house, the garden, the valley, and even the cornfield. On what happened next is the field was all white. Now hail is like kind of hard snow, so whole field was white, filled with hail, as if it was covered with salt. It was looking like that. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. So what we can tell from here, the field was destroyed. Why was it destroyed? Due to the hail, it was destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. Obviously, he was expecting rain so that his crop goes better, but now instead of getting better, it got worse. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his son. So he said to his son, sad, a plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. So what did he say? He said that locusts, what are locusts? They are also like, crop crop eating kind of insects, right? They destroy the crops. So he's telling that these locusts, if they would have attacked it, they would have at least kept more. They would have left some more amount of crops, because this hail has left nothing. Everything is destroyed, right? So this year they are not having zero corns. That night was a sorrowful one. Obviously, the whole field is destroyed. So it was very sad night. Correct? It was very sad. All our work for nothing. Everything is destroyed. Whatever hard work they done, gone in vain. There's no one who can help us. Who can help us? No one. We will all go hungry this year. Now there's no crop. What will we eat? But then, in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope. For who can help us? If there's no human, who will help us? God will help us. Right? So, what did Lenchu do about this? Don't be upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. That's what they say. No one dies of hunger. So, this was what Lencho was told. No one dies of hunger. We'll find some other way, right? So all through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope, the help of God. So he was expecting that now my all of my things are lost. Whoa, I just have one single hope with me. That is if I get help from God and Himself. So whose eyes, as he had been instructing, see everything, even what is the deep in one's conscience. So he was said that God, his eyes are everywhere. He can see everything, with who, what, every human being, whatever is having, he can see. Even what is deep down in his conscience, in his conscious brain, right? So Lencho, he was basically an ox of a man, working like an animal in the field. Like now he was an ox, he was an animal. No, this is just a metaphor, you can say. It's just a metaphor. They're trying to tell that he was an ox of a man, means he was very hard working, right? So what we're trying to tell here, he was hard working. So he was very hard working. But still he knew how to write. He knew how to write a letter. So what did he do? The following Sunday and daytime, he began to write a letter. Letter to whom? It was nothing but a letter to God. He wrote a letter to God and he kept it in the mailbox. So what did he wrote? God, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes. Because the hailstorm, and it goes on like it, hailstorm came, it destroyed my land and everything. So what does he says that God, I want money. Now what he's asking for? He's asking for money in this letter. What is pesos? Pesos is nothing but currency the currency in those time, that is pesos, in order so that he can sow the field with those 100 pesos, and even he can have a normal life until the crop comes up, right? So what he wrote to God on the envelope, right? Like in a, whenever you are writing a letter, we write no to whom we are writing it, correct? So to God he wrote, but the letter inside, still trouble, went to the town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. He put a stamp on it and then he gave it into the mailbox. Now what happened? Did someone take the letter? Yes, the letter was given attention. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss, laughing heartily, and showed him the letter to God. Now, what happened? Usually, the postmen who are there, they will take the letter, give it. But this time, here on that two, it was written to what? If there's a normal human, okay, someone gets it. It was written to God. So even the postman was like, confused, but he was still laughing that, see, this man has written a letter to God himself, right? So never in his career as a postman had he known the address. Okay, if you write any other person, we can give it to him or her, but to God, what's the address? We don't know. So the postmaster, who was he? He was a fat, amiable fellow. Amiable means what? Amiable here means friendly. He was a friendly guy, right? He is not like rude or cruel. He's friendly. Also broke out laughing. He was also laughing that, see, this person is writing a letter directly to God. No one else directly to God. But almost immediately he turned serious and tapping the letter on his desk commented, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter." Starting up a correspondence with God. Now, laughing, he was like firstly surprised at who is writing a letter to God. But then he was thinking that what faith, what belief this person has in God, that he is writing to God, and he is very sure that he will get a correspondence, he'll get a response from God as well. That strong his faith was. So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. Now, what happened if, for example, if Lencho gave the letter, okay, and he didn't get any reply? So what would happen? He would, like, his faith in God would be like, not still now. It would be a little bit disturbed that I wrote a letter, I didn't get it. All that was not a good idea, but still, as per his faith, he wanted a reply. But if it didn't get, it would be bad for him. So that's why postmaster came up with an idea. What did he say? That I will answer that letter. He didn't open the letter till now, but he didn't knew what is that. So, but when he opened it, it was evident that the answer it needed was something more than a goodwill, ink, and paper. So, when he read the letter, it was not just a question answer kind of thing, right? It was what he wanted: money, 100 pesos he wanted, right? So, he understood that for a reply, I can't write anything. Goodwill means like friendly feelings. Ink and paper, I can't use that because here he needs money. He doesn't need an answer to something, right? But he stuck to his resolution. He said that, okay, he wants money, I'll give him the money, I'll try to arrange it. So, what did he do? He asked money from his employees. He himself gave a part of his salary, and several other friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. Obliged means, you can say, like forced. Not even forced, you can say, like he was, his relatives were like, obliged, were like he made him to give some money, right? For what? An act of charity, because it was just a charity, right? So they were doing it. But it was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos. Although he gave a part of his salary, he arranged from the employees, he asked from his friends, but still he couldn't arrange 100 pesos. So he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. So we get to know ahead in the stories that it was only 70 pesos. It was 70 pesos, right? More than half, little more than half. So half is 50, more than 50, 70 pesos. It's given ahead in the story. So he put the money in an envelope bag addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature: God. So Lencho, as this character shows, he didn't even expect something as a long letter or something. He was just worried, I want my money. So that's why they just wrote a God on the letter and put the money, 70 pesos, and gave it to Lencho. So the next Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual, right, to ask if there was a letter for him. So he inquired that, is there a letter any for me? right? So it was a postman. He himself handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked from his office. Now, the postmaster had done a good job. He gave money, although he couldn't give full, but still he at least earned some amount of money, right? But Lencho was not at all surprised. He didn't show slightest surprise on seeing the money. Rather than, he became angry when he counted the money. He got to know that it was 70 pesos. It was 70 pesos, and what he had asked for, he had asked for 100 pesos. So what happened? He became angry that why did God didn't give me the full money, he gave only 70 to me. So he became angry on that. God could not have made a mistake. He thought that God will not make a mistake in giving me money, and neither he denied what Lencho had asked. So he was now confused. What happened at the end was, immediately Lencho went up to the window in the post office asking for a paper and ink. Then on the writing table in the office, he started to write. Okay, caused by the effort of hand he had to make to express his ideas. When he finished, what did he do? He went to the window, took a stamp, he licked it and affixed to the envelope. Affixed means, sticked. He sticked it to the envelope with a blow of his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it. He immediately went because he knew this was the person who was asking. Now, what did he wrote? He wrote that, God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest since I need it very much. But do not send it me through the mail because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lencho. So the story, how it has a funny end. Yes, you can take a humorous end. It has. What happens is, all he got 70 pesos, so he said that give me the remaining money also, means the remaining 30 pesos also he wanted, right? So what did he say? That give me the remaining money also, and don't send me the through this mail. Why? Because he thought that God gave him 100 pesos only. But those employees, post office employees, are a bunch of crooks means dishonest people. So he said that these dishonest people, the post office employees, took the remaining pesos, and I got only 70. So give it to him directly, the 100. But he didn't knew, little did he knew that God didn't give him the money. Those 70 pesos was also given to him by those employees only. So he didn't knew that. Right. So this way the story ends. Again, as per my suggestion, it is abruptly ending because we don't know what happened. Did he get the remaining 30 pesos to complete 100, or did he get to know the truth? What happened? It's not mentioned in the story, right? But still, we get to know that how Lencho was having a good faith. The main theme of the story is that how strong faith a person has in God. So he had such good and faith that he gave a letter to God himself for the money. Even we get one more theme about kindness and humanity. If the postmaster wanted, he would just have ignored it, right? To God, it is just useless letter. But still, he arranged, and at least he arranged 70 pesos and gave him. So, students, thank you so much for watching today's video. This was all about the summary of Letter to God. I hope it was interesting. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment on which video do you want next. We'll be seeing you soon in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.